Let's begin by settling in. This is a quiet moment of reflection, meant only to offer what feels true for you. Please know you are always free to take what fits and leave the rest. Yet, if your journey paused here, if something within you stilled or turned its attention inward, trust that instinct. It means you are listening on a level deeper than the everyday. What seems like chance, say a click, a scroll, a moment of curiosity, is often how guidance finds its way to us. Direction doesn't always arrive with a blast of light. Sometimes, it simply places the next step right before you. The sense you may feel is your spirit recognizing a turning point. There is no fear here, only a gentle nudge toward awareness. A meaningful shift is near, creating a hushed sense of anticipation, the kind felt when a long-awaited meeting is finally at hand. The insight being shared is direct. Your destined partner requires your support in this very moment. Not in a distant future, not when circumstances are ideal. I know the idea of now can bring up hesitation. A natural part of us seeks the safety of certainty and the comfort of a clear plan. However, this call is about something more profound than ready conditions. It is about authentic readiness, the inner decision to show up honestly, even before all the answers are known. Right now, the one meant for you is facing a private threshold. This is not about breaking down, but about breaking open, a moment when old ways of coping have lost their power. The silence they've hidden and no longer feels like shelter. The defenses they constructed for survival have begun to feel like a weight they can no longer carry. They are in a season of quiet endurance, bearing a weight they assume is theirs alone to hold. Their most sincere prayers are soundless, formed in the dark hours, held in a heart that is both full and weary. They are not seeking a grand gesture, but a genuine connection to be truly seen without having to perform or explain. In the core of this experience, one heartfelt question is circling within them, repeated like a quiet mantra. It is not a question about destiny, but a human search for resonance, a hope that their journey is not solitary, and that the understanding they long for is also seeking them. Consider the gentle weight of their questions. Do they still care? If I speak, will they be there to listen? This is not a request for spectacle. It is a heart wondering if the space between you still holds warmth, if your attention remains a place of shelter. Remember this. You are not being observed from above for critique, but for care. Yet what you do with this moment matters deeply. Think of timing not as a fixed schedule, but as a breath. It has its own rhythm, an inhalation of opportunity, an exhalation of change. This is not divine manipulation, but a respect for your own ability to choose. A door is present. Doors can also ease shut, not as a penalty, but as part of a natural flow. They do not need you to mend them or shoulder their burden. They are asking for solidarity, for genuine companionship, for a quiet reminder that the path feels less dark when walked beside another. There is a profound holiness in such a simple, undemanding need. You have noticed the signs, have you not? The memory that surfaces without prompt, the specific dream upon waking, the sudden, quiet ache beneath your ribs, their name arriving in your thoughts while your hands are busy with another task, a flicker you explained away as nostalgia or mere chance. That was not accident. That was attunement. Your soul was sensing a call your logic could not yet name. At this very moment, the one meant for you is navigating a passage that seems vast, a choice, an admission, a point of no return. They are balanced between concealment and candor, between what is safe and what is real. Your nearness is what shifts the balance, not through force, but through the meaning carried in your answer. Your answer reflects their worth back to them. Your answer confirms they are not invisible. Your answer becomes the grounded assurance that says, "Step this way." You are met. Hear this clearly, for it is essential. The universe is not hurrying you. It is preparing you. These are not the same. Haste is born of faith. Preparation is born of intention. This is not a time to hold your peace. This is a time for quiet bravery. And bravery does not require a flawless script. It does not ask you to unravel your whole story in one breath. It does not demand guarantees you cannot give. Bravery, is a decision. I will show up. I will be true to where I am. What comes next is not a performance. It is a sincere act of trust moving toward a connection that has long been hoping for your voice. I'm choosing to answer instead of pulling away. For even silence carries meaning. It is a message of its own. And at this moment, if you choose to remain silent, your silence will likely be heard as confusion. It may sound like hesitation. It may be felt as a door closing, even if you never intended it that way. You may think, but I don't want to give false hope. Here is the truth. Honesty does not create false hope. Silence often does, because in the quiet, the mind begins to write its own story. And fear is a gifted author. Your soulmate has already made a choice in their heart. They desire you. They have chosen you. But fear has made the movements careful. Fear of not being received, fear of embarrassment, fear of offering vulnerability and finding no one there, fear of mistaking this sacred timing and feeling foolish, fear of presenting a heart that still bears the marks of old wounds. This fear does not mean their love is lacking. It means they love so deeply that the thought of losing you feels unbearable. Your response now becomes a form of confirmation, not as a divine being, but as a human vessel. Just as reassurance once came to Gideon in his uncertainty, sometimes heaven answers prayers through another person's presence. Right now, you are part of that answer, not through force, not through pressure, but through your simple willingness to be near. You may feel unready. You may feel uncertain. You may even feel frustrated that this moment feels so weighty. But remember, heaven does not only call those who are prepared. Heaven prepares those who are called. And the next step is rarely the entire journey. It is light for the next few steps, not a spotlight on the distant future. Let me speak to the part of you that overanalyzes every possibility. Overthinking is not always wisdom. Sometimes, it is fear disguised as intelligence. It is the mind's attempt to control what happens so the heart won't have to risk anything. And control is the quiet enemy of trust. You are not being asked to manage the outcome. You are being asked to honor what is happening now. Your soulmate is not waiting for a dramatic act. They are waiting for reassurance. They need safety, the kind that tells them their honesty will not be punished. The vulnerability will not be laughed at. The effort will not be ignored. You offer that safety not by being flawless, but by being present. A gentle checking, a sincere "How are you, really?" A small sign that says, "I see you, and I am here." Sometimes the smallest faithful step creates the widest ripple. There's one more thing, dear friend. Your soulmate feels uncovered right now, not weak, but truly seen. They have reached the place where hiding hurts more than being honest, where pretending is more painful than speaking truth. The armor they have worn of strength, of indifference, of distance has grown heavy. Even armor becomes a burden when worn too long. They are ready to set it down, but only if they feel safe enough to do so. And so I say this gently to you. You may also be afraid. You may fear opening a door you are not yet ready to walk through. I understand your fears. You might worry that by responding, you will be expected to carry everything. You may fear being pulled into emotions you have worked so hard to keep at peace. You might be afraid of losing yourself in their need. But listen to this gentle truth. Opening a door is not the same as walking all the way through it. A reply is not a surrender of your boundaries. Showing up does not mean sacrificing your own well-being. You are not being asked to chase. You are being asked to answer. And answering requires you to bring your true self, not to abandon it. This isn't about creating dependency. This is the beginning of partnership. It is two hearts learning to meet without games. Two paths learning to walk together, not over one another. Two souls choosing clarity over confusion. This moment was delayed before, but not denied. That delay was not a rejection, it was preparation. Time was given to mature you both, to soften the rough edges, to teach you what truly holds weight. But a delay is not permission to ignore. There's a real difference between not yet and I refuse. Right now, heaven is simply holding the door open, not forcing you through it, not pushing you forward, just holding it, waiting for you to see the light from the other side. Your soulmate stands at a turning point. One path leads back into hiding. The other leads into truth. Your response holds real power in that balance. They aren't asking you for solutions. They are asking for permission to be real, to be honest, to finally set down the weight they've carried alone. They have reached the edge of their own strength. And that is often where grace meets us most clearly. So let me offer this simply. Your presence can lighten their load, not by solving their problems or fixing every fear, but by sharing the space beside them, by acknowledging what is real, by letting them feel, perhaps for the first time in a long time, truly seen. To be unseen is a quiet kind of pain. It's not always, I don't feel loved. Sometimes it's, I don't feel recognized. Sometimes it's, I don't know if my love is safe here. Sometimes it's just, I am so tired of guessing. And your soulmate is tired of guessing. Please hear this. This message is not meant to pressure you. It is meant to prepare you. It is a reminder that what you do in this moment echoes longer than you may realize. A single, honest message can shift timelines. A moment of courage can unlock months of prayer. Not because you are the savior, but because your willingness becomes a doorway through which grace can move. If you're wondering, what if I say the wrong thing? Know this. Sincerity covers what perfection never could. A heart that is honest is safer than a heart that is polished. Even gentle uncertainty builds more trust than silence ever will. You do not need to impress. You do not need to perform. You only need to be real. If you choose to show up now, something beautiful will begin to unfold. Trust deepens. Communication opens. Healing finds its pace. The bridge between your two hearts is not built in one grand gesture, but in the quiet, steady choice to be there. If you pull back now, fear will flow into the space you leave. Not forever, but long enough to tangle what could have been simple. This doesn't mean all is lost if you pause, it just means this opening has purpose. So, take a breath and listen inward for a moment. Who has been resting on your heart lately? Whose face returns to your thoughts when the noise fades? Who feels woven into your inner life in a way logic can't unravel? Let that knowing surface gently. Don't push, just allow. And if that knowing is them, then let your next move be humble and true. This is often how sacred things unfold. Small starts, holy results. A gentle motion can create deep change. Truth, offered softly, can loosen stones that seemed immovable. A simple I see you can rearrange a world. Yes, courage is not the absence of fear. It is faithfulness in the face of it. Even your hesitation is seen and still. You are trusted with this. That alone shows the weight of this moment. You are not stepping forward alone. You are not left to navigate this by yourself. Guidance is close not because you have it all figured out, but because you are open. So, if your heart is softening, don't tense against it. If your spirit is whispering, don't silence it. If love is inviting you to show up, don't reply by fading away. You don't have to sprint ahead, and you don't have to lock the door. Just take the next step that feels true, because your soulmate is leaning in spirit. They are prepared for what is real, ready for closeness, ready to move. And they are waiting for a signal not from the clouds, but from you. Not in loud declarations, but in quiet steadiness. Not in grand vows, but in simple nearness. If you can offer anything today, offer that. The quiet, sacred sign that says, I am here. Honesty, right now, is a compass. Not noise, not intent to just direction. I can sense how thoughtfully you've been moving, how deliberate your pace has become, how you're trying to guard your heart without shutting it entirely. Your soulmate is standing ready, not charging toward you, not turning away, just standing, waiting. And this waiting is not empty. It is full of meaning. Heaven never asks anyone to wait without reason. This pause is doing unseen work. It is uncovering character, theirs and yours. Because a connection meant to last doesn't only bring comfort, it invites growth. It shows us where we are transparent and where we still hide. I understand the urge to guard yourself. That instinct was earned. It comes from moments you gave openly and felt left exposed, from times when silence felt like the only safe shelter. That instinct is a human one, a voice from the heart trying to keep you safe. But listen softly. Heaven gently reminds us not to let that careful guarding quietly become a wall that keeps love out. God does not draw people towards sacred connection to break them. He calls them toward it to build them up. And growth does not always feel thrilling. Sometimes it feels like a stretch. Sometimes it feels like a weight to hold. Sometimes it feels like staying still when every part of you wants to either run ahead or walk away. Where you are right now, this pause, this pull is part of that very growth. You may feel a gathering pressure, as though something real is on the line. Hear this clearly. Pressure does not always mean danger. Often, it means importance. It means something meaningful is taking shape. Something true is being formed. Yes, courage is needed, but not the loud kind, not sweeping speeches, not grand vows about what's to come. It is the courage to arrive gently, the courage to speak plainly, the courage to acknowledge what is already alive between you, rather than acting as if it isn't there. Your soulmate isn't asking you for promises about tomorrow. They aren't asking you to fix what feels broken or to map out a lifetime in a single moment. What they need is reassurance about now. It is the present that tells the heart whether the future feels possible. A peaceful today makes a hopeful tomorrow believable. The way you show up, your honesty, your calm, your willingness to simply be here is answering questions they are too careful to speak aloud. Your presence in this moment speaks louder than any plan ever could.